Hello everyone, Josh here with Exodus Games, bringing you guys another Awaken Chaos Era video. Now, I've been absent for the past 4 days. I'm trying to not really stream or make any kind of videos on the weekends. That's my goal anyways, because I want to use that to get other things done, other projects, be with the fam, all that good stuff. And of course, we just had Thanksgiving. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving if you do celebrate that, or just a great overall weekend. And we also had Black Friday on Friday, obviously, so a lot of shopping and stuff like that went on for the holiday. So I just haven't been around for the past 4 days. So I just wanted to get that out of the way because some people were asking why I haven't made a video. Well, that's pretty much why. Now, I have been playing the game. I've been putting in quite a lot of hours, a lot of time. I've been studying up and educating myself on a lot of the new changes that they did because, as a lot of you know, if you've been watching this channel for, any bit of, time over the course of the past few months, you'll know that I have played in more than one of the betas, the closed betas that is, for Awaken Chaos Era. I was in beta test 3 and 4, and partially in 2 as well. So I've been playing the game for quite a while. I've seen the game go from 4 elements, the Chaos Magic, to of course Awaken Chaos Era. Yes, the game has went through different name changes, and a lot of things have changed over the course of that time. A lot of characters have been moved around from different elements, a lot of different name changes, and they're still doing that to this day, and I don't know why. So the game has always given me the vibe of there's no consistency here. There seems to be no sense of direction. My years of experience doing game development, we always set up with a GDD, a game development document, that laid out our entire roadmap of what we wanted to do and planned it out accordingly, the costs, and everything for each element that we needed to provide in the game, all the functionality and everything to get it to a point where it was ready for post-production before it was released. This game, unfortunately, has not taken that route. They're still in the beta phases, even in soft launch, from what I can tell, from what I've seen. Now, if you guys saw the thumbnail of today's video, this is going to be a rant. I'm going to try to keep it toned down a little bit because I've already recorded this video before, but it was a little bit too spicy for YouTube's liking, so I've had to redo it, unfortunately, tone it down quite a bit. So the raw reaction video, you guys aren't going to get to see that golden nugget, but I'm going to try and do my best here and tone it down, but still get my point across. A lot of things that are going wrong in this game and how they've actually ruined it. So in beta test 3, I know a lot of you that are playing this game for the first time, you probably don't realize any of these things have happened, but I'm here to enlighten a lot of you. Beta test 3, the game was at its peak. The game was so much fun. It was very enjoyable. It felt like it was very free-to-play friendly while also providing the casual to whale spending habits for the players out there who, of course, want to drop the wallet. And that's fine. Every company's got to make money. These things are not free. Making the games myself, doing web design and stuff like that as a full-time gig, I know these things take a lot of time and effort, and you really want to make money because it's just a lot of time consumption and you want to be rewarded for it. So obviously these things aren't cheap, but there is a way to go about making the game free to play friendly while also still providing methods of monetization that's not completely obnoxious or overbearing in any way, or of course hurting the free-to-plays in the long run, because that's going to be the biggest player base you're going to have is free-to-plays. Free-to-plays are going to outnumber a whale 10-1 always, and it's always been that way for a game that of course is open to the public, that doesn't require any kind of monetization to get in. So these are things that people need to understand, including this company. Now, another issue is I do not like either of the 2 community reps that we have available right now, Borden or Ace. A lot of you know that I've had issues with them from the end of closed beta test 4. Apparently they don't like heavy criticism on themselves, even in your own private servers on Discord, which of course I did myself. If you guys know the story, you know. Otherwise, you can ask around, you'll probably get, multiple stories. But regardless, I just do not like either of the community reps. I don't think that they are doing their jobs. I don't think they have the experience for their jobs. And I just outright think that whoever's in charge of this project, hopefully it's not neither of those 2, should replace them with people that actually know what they're doing, who have the education, the credentials, the resume to fulfill their positions of community reps, because they don't know much about gacha games, let alone how to manage a gacha game community. Plus, I've heard a lot of things where they've made promises that never came true. They were going to not do this and not do that, or they were going to do this and do that, and neither of those things have happened, and the soft launch is now a gigantic mess. And I do not know how much of the information that we're giving them is even being passed along to developers, so that is another situation in itself, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But with all that out of the way, let's actually talk about the actual problems in the game, why it's ruined, and why these things need to be addressed ASAP, otherwise this game is doomed. So the first thing, there's a stigma going around right now that this game is going to be some kind of raid competitor. Incorrect, not even close. This game is not even on the radar of raid right now, because this game has a lot of situations surrounding it. It's got some controversy, it's got a lot of people that are upset, or some people that think this is the next game, or this is the next big game. So it's like you're seeing both sides here. You're seeing the extreme on both spectrums. You're seeing the people who downright hate this game, its very existence, because either they had issues like myself with the community reps, or they're just banning everybody from the Discord that doesn't share their opinion or their criticism, creating a basically an echo chamber, a cult-like personality over there, which is absolutely crazy, but it is a thing. Or you also have the group of people that's like hardcore shilling out for this game, thinking it's the next best thing. It's like better than sliced bread, right? But the issue is it's neither of those things. It's not all doom and gloom. Even though I don't like the community reps per se, I'm not going to completely fault the entirety of the game just on my personal feelings for 2 community reps. But it's also not the greatest thing ever. It's not going to be a raid competitor. Right now, this game feels more like old raid 2018 Epic 7 with all the problems that had an entire country of South Korea upset with Smilegate over their handling of stamina, character rebalancing, just overall gameplay mechanics and stuff like that. That's the vibes I'm getting right now from this soft launch. This global soft launch, and I am calling it a global soft launch for the simple fact that the game is actually called global on the APK, and they gave the APK out officially to the public. Thus, this is a global soft launch. You can argue with me all you want in the comment sections, but that's the facts. They gave that stuff out officially. We didn't have to go to APK Pure or any other, third party or offhand site to get the APK. They gave it to us publicly, officially, through the company themselves. Thus, this is, in fact, a global soft launch. With that said, there's a lot of server instability. Now, there's ways around that. You can actually go through a third-party APK and get the actual Google Play APK and not the one they gave us, and it's actually working a lot better. Now, I still gotta get that on my other emulator instance at some point. Right now, I'm still running the APK that they gave us freely. That's very buggy for whatever reason. You also can't purchase the gold or the silver cards for the monthly boost for some reason. So for those of you who do spend money, you're not going to have access to those unless you use the Google Play APK, which APK Pure and other sites provide you with. I don't know why they didn't give that to you through the public APK that they released. I don't know. That's a weird situation among other weird situations that we're going to be talking about. So with that also out of the way, we have to talk about the current status of this game. Like, what is going on? What were they thinking from beta test 3 to 4 and then 4 to soft launch? The game has greatly regressed from 3. Now, I understand the game could not come out like it was in 3 because 3 might have been a bit easier to progress. You could get a lot done. Maybe it was a bit too free-to-play friendly. Maybe they thought they needed to amp it up a bit. That's fine, but I believe they turned it up to 11 on several things. So the first big thing that really, really ticks me off is if we go to summons, and I apologize for the lag, guys. I'm still on the old APK. I'm gonna have to, again, I'll switch it over for future videos, hopefully. But if we go in here to the actual summons, you'll see here that a summon cost 150 now. It used to cost 100. And that's between beta test 3 and 4. I don't want to reference too much from beta test 2 because, I vaguely remember a lot of stuff from beta test 2 because it was so long ago. It was like in 2019. So it was a while back. But beta test 3 and beta test 4, 100% the summoning was 100 gems per single summon, and a multi was 1,000. Now a multi is 1,500, and the rates have actually decreased as well. I believe that was 1.5 to 2% for legendary heroes in beta test 3, and then they changed it in 4, and then of course they kept it like that for I'm calling this beta test 5, but technically it's a soft launch, but it should be just called a beta test 5 because that's what it is. It's an open beta test 5. But you'll see here that the that the cost of summons have now went up 50% between the beta test and the launch. That is absolutely ridiculous. Yet, if you look at all the rewards and stuff like that, they're still treating it as if the game is still allowing you to do a single summon with 100. And you'll notice that by all the various rewards in the game that they were too lazy to change out or increase to go along with the inflation of the price for summons. It's still like 100 gems here, 100 gems there. If you look in your mailbox, oh, something was wrong, here's 100 gems. You cannot do nothing with 100 gems. You need 150 to do a single summon now. And it's kind of crazy. And they have not adapted this in the prices of packs either. Now, in the beta, you were able to purchase packs through the shop, obviously. So here in the diamond shop, you can notice I've already bought all these, but I bought them with my tokens from when I bought diamonds in the actual closed beta. Okay? They have not changed the prices. The prices are still the same. The gem amount is the same. The problem is, again, the cost of summoning went up 50%. So these packs are significantly less valuable than they were when the game was in closed beta test 3 and 4. And at no point did any of the players, including myself, who did a significant amount of testing, told them to change that. We actually said the value was already too low as it was, and summons were already hard enough to come by. We told them that in closed beta test 4. The final closed beta test. We told them this. They did not listen. Not only did they not listen, they went ahead and increased the cost of summoning, thus making the packs even less valuable than they previously were when we were already complaining. What they will not also tell you is closed beta test 4 had way more complaining than positive feedback. And we complained a lot from week 1 to week 2 to week 3 to week 4 to week 5. Complained. I talked to Borden and Ace directly. I gave them opinions on how to fix the game using my vast amounts of education and knowledge and experience on the subject, doing this for several years, and of course doing a decade plus of game development, something that they do not have any knowledge in, and I was trying to help them as well as other players. They've banned their biggest whale in the game, among other whales, a lot of which that I brought to them through my guides and my videos from my channel. So you're welcome, Ace and Borden. I hope you cashed those paychecks and took a nice vacation that I helped pay for. So you're welcome. So yeah, they raised the summoning cost by 50%, which is absolutely ridiculous. Stamina was one of the top 3 major concerns in closed beta test 4. So much in fact, guys, and you guys and gals aren't going to know this if you're new, as I said. This is a lot of secret information that I'm revealing to a lot of you players out there, because unless you talk to a closed beta test player, you're not going to know this ever happened. Stamina was a major concern. This game sucks you dry of stamina without giving you really any amount back. You know those events that they keep spamming us with now? These little, hey guys, we got an energy cost, we got a gear collection, we got a gear promotion, hero promotion, yada yada yada. These cost a ton of stamina. The only way we were even able to complete them as free to play or even casual spenders in time to get them done in 3 to 4 days, because that's all they're available for, to get those, juicy rewards. Quote, air quotes, juicy rewards. The only way we were able to complete it is by making such a fuss that they ended up having to give us 20 meal tickets for free every day for the final, I believe, 3 weeks of the closed beta test 4. Stamina was that bad, guys, in the closed beta test, a test that we're supposed to be giving a lot of rewards so we can quickly test things and give our feedback. In that test, we were so starved of stamina. We had to beg them and plead with them to complain and complain and complain to the devs or do whatever they need to do to try and correct the situation. They ended up giving us 20 meal tickets per day just so we could progress at any point in the game as a free-to-play player or even a casual spender. 20 meal tickets a day, guys. Are we getting 20 meal tickets a day in open beta, or I'm sorry, in the soft launch? No, we're not. Not only are we not getting that additional stamina that we had to have in closed beta to even progress to farm up things, because glyphs are hard to come by, especially the tier 4 and 5s. The drop rates are so low. You have to get extremely far in mythic difficulty and be able to auto quite well. Otherwise, you're gonna have to suffer from another problem that we're gonna be talking about later on in the video, which I think a lot of you probably know where I'm gonna get at with that. So, you know, overall, stamina is a major issue because everything in this game pretty much takes stamina. You got to use stamina to go into most of the dungeons. You got to use stamina to do your typical farming of story, progressing through story, to do your towers, your 100 floors of tower for normal, hard, and mythic. Yes, there is 300 floors of tower, ladies and gentlemen, that reset, I believe, every month. So when we ever get to that point, have fun doing all those, because there's no quality of life that they were told to put in forever ago, to where it would just automatically clear all the floors you've already beat once. You don't have to do it over and over and over again. So have fun, guys, playing 300, potentially 300 floors of tower every day if you do stick around for the long run and you are able to beat those floors. So that's going to be fun doing that every month. So long story short, stamina is a major concern. And stamina was raised in cost. So these stamina over here, the used diamonds to get plus 120, those used to cost 50 in the closed beta. Now they're 80. So not only did they not fix the stamina crisis, they made it more expensive. How awesome is that? And before people say, oh, well, you don't need to use that much stamina to do all this stuff, you can be patient and wait. Well, if you do that, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to miss out on all the events that give you a lot of free stuff that you're going to need as a free-to-play player and a casual spender that you're not going to get otherwise. And the only way to get those is to use a ton of stamina and to use them where they want you to use them. Like some of the events we have right now surrounding gear. Where are you guys going to get a lot of gear from? It ain't going to be the gear dungeons, because that brings us to another issue with the gear dungeons. The gear dungeons are absolutely insanity. They upped the difficulty level to 11. You used to be able to take a free-to-play 5-star Zachary, take him to 6-star in the first week or two, and then go in and do Tulpa 7+ pretty consistently to start farming up your 5-star gear. We're not talking about 6-star gear, ladies and gentlemen. We're just talking about your bare minimum 5-star gear. It doesn't even have to be legendary, just decent 5-star gear that you can start building up and giving to your other units. Well, they decided to go ahead and swap around all the dungeon gear and put it in different dungeons. Now you got speed gear and ash. Now you have Tide, the water dungeon, that has your curse set, which is by far the best set in the game still, because it allows you to take an additional turn with 50% chance and use a skill 1. That's very powerful in this game, especially with certain characters, especially if you have a unit named William on your team as well. You can do some crazy things. It's a very powerful set of gear. That's been moved to Tide. Attack set has been moved to Tide. Tulpa is now really built around your tank gear, because the crit set is not that great, because it's still a 4-piece set that only gives you 20% crit rate, which is terrible for a 4-piece set. We told them to up that up to 25 to 30%, and they didn't do that either. More things that were told to be done in the beta that we tested and told them to fix that was left undone. I don't know even what to say. Like, what was fixed? What was done? How much of what we're saying even got through, and how much of our testing was just wasted? I don't know, but it's starting to look like a lot. So, gear dungeons are crazy. What you would usually have to farm on a gear dungeon stage 11 is now on stage 7. And you have to get to 8 guys to farm 5-star gear. So guess what you're left doing now? Now you have to go to mythic difficulty of story. Let me show you guys here. I'm gonna go to adventure. You see here, I've been doing a little bit of story here myself. You got to go to mythic difficulty of story. I've already beat hard mode and normal, obviously, to unlock this. So you got to go to mythic difficulty of story. That way you can come in here and start farming 5-star gear through story, but it will cost you 12 stamina per run, so keep that in mind. And you want to make sure you're able to do a stage that you can auto pretty efficiently without support units or anything like that. And you can see if you go to chapter details, you know, these are the rewards you get on mythics. Not too amazing, to be honest. But you'll see here that when we actually go in, you can actually get 5-star gear drops all the way up to epic. You cannot get legendary, unfortunately. And another issue is you can't get legendary gear drops at all in gear dungeons until you get to stage 8. And stage 7 has become very not doable for a majority of the player base, even a lot of the big whales. I'm not a big whale. I'm a casual spender, and I'm not spending anything in this soft launch because I'm not seeing anything that is telling me this game's going to survive long term at the moment. I'm seeing a lot of regression and a lot of just misuse of time that they've spent on this game not fixing anything. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if it's a community rep problem. I don't know if it's a developer problem. I don't know if it's a publisher problem, or maybe a mixture of all three. I don't know. But whatever and whoever is in charge of running this game, they're running it into the ground. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Just because I love the game and I gave it a lot of time and attention, still not a big fan of the reps, I'm still going to call it down the middle. I'm still going to call it how I see it. I'm not going to shill. I'm never going to shill for any game. You guys know that if you've been watching the channel. I don't play that game. I always keep it 100. You're not going to buy me off. I'm going to tell your game. I'm going to tell you how the game is. Its innards and its outers and anything that's good and bad, I'm going to bring it up. So I am sorry if I offend anybody, but I'm telling you the truth. I'm giving you the information. Take it or leave it. I don't know what else to tell you. But anyways, so the best way to farm gear now, guys. Yes, the best way to farm gear. I mean, if you want, I can make a separate video on this. Is story mode on mythic difficulty for 12 stamina pop. Because you're going to get your glyphs, you're going to get some good jelly, and you're going to get some gear. Now, I'm not a big fan of this because I don't feel like this is an efficient way to farm gear, because I would say 90% of the time your gear is going to be rare gear, just the green gear that only has one substat, which means when you go to upgrade that gear, you're going to be losing a lot of stat value because your substats are going to have to roll. You're going to have to roll into those instead of them already being there and getting rolled into, increasing those already existing stats. You now have to create the stat in the first place. So you're going to be losing a lot of substat value if you're running rare gear. But that's the only way you can really manage right now, especially if you're free to play, guys. So the green gear is going to be the way to go, and the way to do that is going to be in Mythic Story. And I know a lot of you is going to be struggling to get the Mythic, so I would recommend definitely making good use of your supports, trying to get, build up one strong unit, focus on that, and then try to bring in another support that also is a strong unit, and try to kind of cheese your way through story as best you can, because that seems to be like the best strategy right now to eventually get to at least 1-1 of Mythic. And then you can start farming up chapter 1, which will give you attack gear. Okay, every chapter will have a set of gear, and you could farm your gear from there as well as your other glyphs and stuff like that. And it'll be very beneficial than trying to go into the gear dungeon and pulling your hair out of your head, trying to figure out, how do I beat 7? How do I beat 8? How do I get to these? How do I beat these? These are very difficult because they made them very hard for no reason. It's kind of, I don't have to cuss too much, but I am right here. It's kind of ass backwards to expect somebody to have to go clear to mythic difficulty to farm 5-star gear to hopefully one day eventually get to beat level 7 and level 8 to then be able to finally farm 5-star gear in the gear dungeon. What? So you're farming story for gear to finally farm the same type of gear, potentially a little bit better maybe, in the gear dungeon. It's just very ass backwards to me, but that's the way they made it now. So it's completely different from the way it was before in the betas. So it's making me feel like the entire beta was a waste of time, because everything that we tried to accomplish in the beta, they just went and backtracked, or they just didn't care. They didn't take any of our advice or information. Now, here's my third big issue. So we've talked about stamina, we've talked about summons, we've talked about some gear and stuff like that, but the third big one, because these are my big three. Summon price, ridiculous. The stamina, super ridiculous. And then the third big one was skip animation. This is absolutely atrocious. This is stupidity incarnate. I don't know what they were thinking. So Just for a quick little history lesson, skip animation was the biggest, and I mean the absolute biggest complaint coming out of beta test 3. And again, keep in mind, beta test 3 was more of a positive atmosphere. Everybody was having fun, everybody was hype. And then closed beta test 4 just killed all of that, and then open beta, or the launch, the soft launch, if you will, killed it even more. But this was the biggest feature. They finally added it in closed beta test 4. And then for whatever reason, in the freaking soft launch, they decided to limit it. Why? I don't know, but it was the dumbest thing I've seen this year, and we still have all of December, so there's still time for them to shock me a little bit more. But then again, maybe I'm not going to be shocked, because anything they do at this point isn't really shocking. So we go here and we go to our settings. Sorry again if it's laggy. If we go to the game here and we scroll down, we see skip boss appearance animations upon clearing the stage, and then skip ultimate animations and multi-battle. Here's the issue. Skip animations only works in multi-battle. That's great, but here's the problem. Nobody cares, because when we're in multi-battle, we're not playing the game. That's when we put the game on autopilot and walk away for a while and then come back. We're not even playing the game. So why is it limited to just that mode? That's stupid. But when you're playing manually, guess what, guys? You have to see those animations over and over and over and over until they're burned into your eyeballs to where you can never forget them again. You're going to be sleeping and dream about those animations. Okay? Just don't dream too much about Hydrizia, because that'd be maybe a little bit awkward. Who knows? Maybe some of you are into it, though. Who knows? Who knows? It's 2021. It's a crazy time. But, yeah. You're going to be thinking about those animations constantly. You're going to be seeing them constantly. And guess what that's also going to be doing, guys? Killing your phone battery. If you're on an emulator, that might be one thing. But even then, it's still very annoying. It's just making things take longer than they need to be. And you're just going to get sick and tired of it. And if it gets maybe too repetitive, you might just want to stop playing the game because it'll get too much. This is a standard thing in the gacha industry. Why would you take that away? That is dumb. Remember when... for those of you who were around for that time, remember when I told both the reps that they were stupid, don't know how to do their job, and they're not taking advice, they're not taking criticism, they're not doing anything correctly, they're not listening, they're not understanding? Well, guess what? I stand by that even more so now, because this is downright stupid. Whoever decided to do this, whoever wrote this off and said, yep, let's do this. Let's take away skip animations, skip ultimate animations, and only put it in multi-battle. I don't know who did that, but that is downright dumb. Because now you're going to be killing phone batteries. The game's already unoptimized on all platforms because they rushed it to delivery. This game was not ready, apparently. All the beta tests were for naught because they changed everything up. They didn't listen to feedback, take advice, and they tried to just rush it out so they could make a quick buck. This is right now looking like 100% a cash grab. And if you don't believe me, look into the app. Every time you go back to the lobby, every time you do something, every time you pull a hero, a legendary or an epic or a new character, or you get some new gear, boom, you go back to the lobby. Hey, there's a new pack. Please buy me. Please buy me. Or when you first started the game, you went through like 50 packs of, oh my God, look at all these packs. Buy me, buy me, buy me. Look at this equipment pack. Look at this legendary hero pack. Look at the battle pass, blah, 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 blah. Like, they were really going hard on wanting you to spend some money, and you just got into the game. You don't even know if you like the game yet, but they're telling you to spend. The stamina issue, they want you to spend. The cost of summoning going up and not giving you much resources to summon, they want you to spend. The need for dupes, they want you to spend. Now, there are a couple good things in this game. Right here, let me go to it. Let me just talk about it real quick. Like I said, I always talk about the positives and the negatives fairly. The synthesize option here is actually pretty cool. This is a good method. Now, I wouldn't recommend going for the legendaries because that's a lot of resources burnt, and some of these epics are actually pretty solid. But like a unit like Santis, you could completely max her out this way. Hakram, another solid unit, you could max him out as well. Cyrus is by far the best legendary of these three available. She's an amazing unit. I used her, I mained her hardcore in beta test 4, and she wasn't really nerfed or anything like that, so she's still super solid like she was back then. An amazing fire unit. So these are great units. and you can actually, meet these requirements and get that unit for free, over and over, I guess. I don't know if they're going to add more later on or whatnot, but, maybe the legendaries aren't the way to go for free to plays, but you could definitely make use of some of these epics. Like I said, Santis is really good if you build up a poison team. However, the poison team is expensive, and it still is expensive. I made a video talking about 3 teams that you really just should not build early game. The poison team is definitely one of them, and that stands true even more now than before. But like Hakron, definitely be a unit I would build up and go for if you can manage it. And what's really cool is this is super free to play friendly, because these elite units right here, you can use your free pulls, your normal summon pulls, and get those units, and then you can feed in the dupes and then trade them in and get a free Hakron, and then you can grab a couple dupes of him, and then you can build him up, and he'd be a really solid tank for your team, for whatever content you're trying to use them for. So that, I will give them credit for that. That is actually pretty good. That's one of very few good things they've actually done. Okay. Trial Tower, or not Trial Tower, I'm sorry, Trials is actually another good benefit. If we go here to the dungeon and we go into the actual Endless Trial is actually pretty decent now too, because it gives you a lot of gear, EXP, materials, which is great. We lacked a lot of those in the beta test 4. They did improve on that, but here's the problem. You're not going to have too much good gear to even use those on, because they made it extremely hard to get good gear now. So that is definitely kind of like a step forward and 2 steps back situation, unfortunately. The Void Tower rewards are also terrible. If we go to the Void Tower, you're going to see here, these are the only rewards even worthwhile, but after I did quick math, you get maybe a little over a multi worth for clearing all 100 floors in total, and that's including Stardust summons, the yellow summon crystals, and the gems in total, with the new, of course, upgraded price for summons. So with all of that considered, you get a lot of 3-star pumpkins, which aren't very not that valuable. There we go, if I could speak. And you get, obviously, like I said, a little bit over a summons worth total for 100 floors. Crazy, guys. And then the individual floor rewards aren't that great either, to be honest. You get a lot of crappy gold, a lot of crappy jelly, and then you get 2 Stardust at a time. Just to put these Stardust into perspective, if let's just say they're all 2 apiece, which that's not the case. I think every 10 floors they actually give you 5. Let me just double check real quick. Yeah, you get 5 on the 10th floor. So you get about 50 for every, if we go 100 floors, you're gonna get 50 from that, and then you're gonna get 2 from all the floors in between every 10. So you're not getting very many summons out of that, guys, because again, keep in mind, these take 50 per summon. So that's not great. So the tower rewards are actually pretty terrible, like really terrible. And I don't know what hard mode and mythic is going to look like, judging by the beta. They never really increased rewards much from those tower difficulties from the normal one. There wasn't too much of a difference. There was a little bit, but not much. And the floors are much harder. So we'll have to see on that. But so far, the tower looks like doo-doo, which is absolutely tragic. Bounty Hunt's pretty much more or less the same as it always was. Again, the Arcane Dominator No Man's Land, they greatly upgraded the difficulty of these with not increasing the value. So that's a thing. The Foodie Quest suck. You're doing tons, and I mean, look at all this work. You're doing tons of work, right? Tons of work to get very minimal rewards. And then the reward itself, this used to be a multi. Well, it's not a multi no more. You're missing 500 gems, and you're gonna get it from here? No, you're not. It's just absolutely terrible. These rewards are just trash. Even stage 1 that I completed fully, like all this work, 50 missions that you had to do that did not take a little bit of time. It took a lot of time for just minimum, bare minimum. They have a habit, even if you go to the quest here, this is another thing that I told them to change, and other people have too. These lifetime achievements that you have to do a ton of work with, like all of these, the rewards are terrible. Like the amount of work you have to do for the little game you get is just pathetic. This game will not last long term when the long-term goals are very short-lived and very unrewarding. And it's undeserving to the players that are dedicated and have been playing this game for the past year and a half plus through betas. It's just not a good look. And there's more things I could talk about that are wrong with this game, but I'd be here all day, and the video is already 35 and a half minutes long. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a backstory from when the game was good to current day, and how things have adapted and changed over time, and how they really just are not listening. And the game is in probably the worst place it's ever been that I can think of over the course of the past year. It's absolutely tragic. Arena still doesn't reset your arena tries at daily reset. You can't even buy arena tickets no more from the bartender. So if you're a competitive player and you want to be a whale, what are you going to spend? What are you going to whale for? To do what? 24 PvP matches a day that are against bots? It's not even live. There's no Guild Wars yet, so I don't know. Sorry about that, guys. I had to cough real bad, and I don't want to blow your ears out. Still lingering effects from COVID. Not fun, not fun. But, I mean, I don't know what else to really talk about. There's a lot of characters that got nerfed that shouldn't have got nerfed. A couple of them that were buffed. You know, maybe we'll end it on a good note here. Maybe I'll talk about one good thing that they did. They made Mary a beast. This is by far the best elite in the game. And when I started the game, as soon as I grabbed the APK and I got into the game and I did my token summons and stuff like that, as soon as I saw Mary, who used to be, you know, AKA Light Paladin, who used to be a rare hero, or green hero, if you will, if that's easier. Not a green element, but an actual green grade character. She's now an elite. She's still a light hero. Her name is now Mary, and she is the best elite in the game because she literally does multiple roles. She allows you to take additional turns. She gives you debuff immunity. She removes debuffs. She has invincibility AoE, and she can even stun on her skill 1 on occasion when you need it in certain situations, like maybe PvP or even just general, you know, story grinds or whatever. And I believe she's even faster than Light Kane as well, so her invincibility is even more clutch in PvP than even him. So she's just an amazing unit, and her stat distribution for what she does isn't bad. She's got a B health and B defense and speed, and those are the actual 3 stats you're even going to use on her. You're never going to use her for attack or crit or any kind of DPS. She's just going to be a big tank that's fast and can be very helpful. So that is one good thing that I will give them that they've done. They actually made a very, very nice unit that can complement Connor, another amazing elite that we talked about previously in betas, very well. So there you guys go. Again, like I said, I could probably complain about a million other things that they did not change, or if they did change it, they changed it for the worse. If you guys can think about anything else, or if you'd like me to talk about more of these things in more detail, specifically individually in individual videos, let me know that more in the comment section below. I try to keep this as civil as possible. I wanted to give you guys some information. I wanted to explain my perspective from, you know, coming from betas to now, what has happened since then to now, so you guys can get a little bit more educated on the whole entire situation of where this game is currently versus where it should have been and what could have been, and, you know, things like that. So let me all know that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, as always, don't forget to subscribe, check notifications, and join me in the Discord in the description below, as always. And go ahead and follow me on Twitter at XSPlays if you'd like, and I'll catch you guys then. Until then, peace.